U.S. has a huge military buildup going on right now in the area of Iran, all around Iran. It's been compared to the military buildup that we conducted before the Gulf War. It is that huge. In fact, there is at least 112 C-17 huge aircraft transporters. You know, it's the largest thing except for the 747 derivative, the C-5 Galaxy. The C-17, well, actually, the 747 was a derivative of the C-5 Galaxy, but aside from that, the C-17 is really the largest workhorse operating cargo carrier that the United States Air Force is using today. They still use C-5s, but the C-17 is now the big workhorse. 112 of them are either en route or positioned in the Mideast with all kind of cargo. A lot of troops have been carried there. So what is this all about? What is the United States really gearing up for there? Are we gearing up to actually strike? Are we gearing up to put pressure? Are we looking for a deal? There's a lot of things out there. In fact, it's been suggested that Donald Trump actually is looking for a deal. And the concerns about that have triggered some to actually ask him to strike Iran, to strike them now while they're at their weakest point. So there's a lot of issues with this. Now, actually, Netanyahu just went to Washington, D.C. and met with Trump, and some think he was there to at least get him to press Iran further than just have them not develop their nuclear program, to tone down their nuclear program development. So what is it really? What is the case here? So Netanyahu apparently was putting pressure because he wants them to at least wants Trump to push for Iran not supporting the proxies that have been threatening Israel, and for Iran to tone down their missile program. Hey, we got a super chat already. All right, Chris Napier, salute to you. Thank you for the super chat. Hi from Houston. How's the coffee? I appreciate that for the coffee. And on that, I'll have a swig. All right, we got the night started off very well here. Appreciate that. So, back to the news, and I'll read the chat room after I get through with the news, guys, because my morning coffee drinkers want to hear the news first. So, and we'll do our guess and all that stuff too. But here we are. So, what's going on with the situation there? Donald Trump wants to save face. Now, it's not known, and the Iranians have no propensity to want to give anything up. They probably won't, although they would probably agree to negotiate, maybe get in a treaty, but they have never, ever in the history of all the negotiations actually gave anything up. So is Donald Trump just wanting to save face because he had promised to strike Iran if they didn't relent on attacking the protesters there? Because he didn't do it then, but then, he was urged not to by Netanyahu, among others, at that point in time, because he wasn't ready. Now, Netanyahu's actually come out and said that, hey, if the United States don't strike Iran, we might. He said, we reserve the right to do it on our own for our own purposes. And they might do that. And that's entirely up to them. My concern is this. Even though Iran does, if they get nuclear weapons, and they do have an intercontinental ballistic missile, they could reach the United States. And worse yet, they might, if they build 9 of them, like it has been suggested they could do with the materials that have been enriched to 60%, if they take it to 90%, if they build 9 nuclear warheads based on that, that's far more than they need to take out Israel. They could use those for nuclear blackmail, to sneak them into this country, for terrorist cells to detonate them here, for sleeper cells. Now, that would be pretty horrific. And as bad as that sounds, I would submit that attacks on our grid would be even more dangerous. I've talked about that in videos long ago on this channel. Go back and look at my old stuff and see why I maintain that attacks on our grid can be more dangerous than a full-scale nuclear war. So that said, and who knows what else they could pull on us. It's not like we don't have any Chinese sleeper cells hiding out, maybe to pull us into various things and more to cause a Tet offensive type operation here in America. But see, that's what we really got to focus on. If we are intent on being able to defend Taiwan, which is highly questionable at this point in time, then we need to save our ammo. Because even though Iran may pose a threat, is the threat Iran poses anything compared to the threat of China? I would say no. It's not even the same league. I mean, Iran is small potatoes. Not an easy one to deal with militarily if we were actually going to try to go in and force a, pardon me, a regime change, because that's going to require some boots on the ground. Even with a special operation like we tried with Maduro, it would take a lot more to do that in Iran, a lot more, because you can't just take out the head guy and expect there's going to be a regime change there, because they got a lot of backups. You'd have to put at least 1,000 or 10,000 boots on the ground, maybe far more. And we may be prepared for that. And maybe why we're having such a big military buildup there to actually put in more. But a ground war with Iran will not be like a ground war with Iraq, because Iran has a lot more military forces. It's far more mountainous. You know, Iraq was just a flat open plain. It was a lot easier to get through than Iran will be. And Iraq did not have all the tunnels and things hidden in tunnels like Iran does. So Iran would make Iraq, the Iraq wars, the Gulf wars there, look like a cakewalk. Not to mention that Iraq today is headed by Shia community, which is sympathizers to Iran because they're Shias too. And it's pretty much pledged support for Iran. So it will not be a pretty picture to get involved in Iran. There's nothing that's going to be great and wonderful about it unless we knew that we had sufficient support from the protesters organized, but they're not armed. And we saw what happened to them. They were mowed down in the streets. And furthermore, it's been what they're claiming now is that they're going into hospitals and terminating their lives right now. So things are really bad in there. I mean, yeah, you'd want to do something about it, but can we really afford it? Can we really afford it? Is that where our priority should be? And you also got to ask, is that true with China also? But the problem with China is we're probably going to have to face them sooner or later. Later might be worse than sooner, perhaps. But at least at this point in time, suddenly we got Japan on our side all at once. And Japan, the contribution of the Japanese Navy, which is not insignificant, could actually be a game changer that could throw things in our favor if we get into it with China. And here's what you got to know. Japan is an ally. We do have a treaty, a solid treaty with Japan, unlike Taiwan. And we are honor bound to defend Japan if they are attacked. And Japan has already said that if now that, you know, we got now this new lady, Sane Takahashi, I believe is her name, who's the new prime minister. She just won a landslide victory for her party in their parliament. And 3/4 of that governor by lower house is now in control of her party. Just won it. Huge. Never has this happened in the history of Japan before, because the people there are supporting conservatism. She campaigned on something pretty much akin to MAGA here in the United States. What would you call it? MAGA? Make Japan great again? Anyway, so in any event, that would be a game changer. And that's what really infuriated China when they saw that tape. They said, well, what's China to expect when they're walking around acting like a bully, thumping their chest? Because Japan knows that if their trade is cut off, they cease to exist. They're going to wither on the vine. They're going to starve to death. They can't afford to let China entirely seize the South China Sea, Taiwan, and all those trade routes. Japan survives on those. Japan is entirely reliant on them for their livelihoods. So it's far more critical to Japan than it is us. So it may be, given that what China knows about Japan now, they might just attack Japan outright if they decide to go for Taiwan, which pulls us into the battle. but having Japan on our side would make it go a lot better for us. Unfortunately, we had negotiated to take our Marine Corps off Okinawa in a more liberal era of Japanese government, and because Okinawans really weren't happy, the Marines kind of rough group, but that's exactly where they're needed if we get into a war with China. Now, I'm not saying we should get into war with China. We really need to think about what spheres of influence really mean. But given our position with Japan, I don't know that we can avoid it. And China, as I said for a long time, is really already at war with us. We've just been too darn dumb to know it. All this F-ball, if you don't know what that is, it starts with F and ends with anal. I have to be careful what I say here. That's been coming to this country has been sponsored by nothing less than the Chinese Communist Party. And so we are really dealing with a big threat. We've lost a lot of people here in this country over that. We're finding their biolabs everywhere, and some of the Congress knows this could cost thousands of lives. How about saying millions? How many of these biolabs are there? We don't know. How is it that I raised Cain about this in a previous video? How is it that the same guy who owned the one in Greeley, California, happened to own this too, and we don't find out until 3 years later? Knock, knock, hello, FBI, wake up and do your darn job. Anyway, see, that kind of frosts my oats, if you will. That's a polite way of saying it. Ticks me off. In any event, so we don't know what else is out there. At least we in the public don't know. There could be a lot of things. So we're facing global war right now. In a sense, we're already in it. We've been supporting Ukraine, and China and Russia are kind of married at the hip, along with North Korea and Russia. They got a strong treaty between those two parties. And so China could try to instigate North Korea to move against South Korea should they move against Taiwan. And if North Korea wants it, that would be the best timing for them. Will they follow their sponsor, China? Or was Russia got a bigger hand in this? Would Russia moderate for restraint? Can Trump negotiate something with little Kim? A lot of questions here. A lot of questions that we don't know the answer to right now. But we do face some severe threats here. And as I've mentioned to you many times, it won't be just a war over there if this really breaks. This is going to be right here at home. Sleeper cell agents, good Lord knows what. And this whole Iran thing could be the spark that lights the powder keg that could spread worldwide. Because China is going to realize, oh, we're about to run out of fuel. If we're going to make the move, we might need to make it now. All this stuff could unravel this year. Could. Possibly. I'm not saying it will, and I'm not saying it's a certainty if we hit Iran that China is going to go. But if we hit Iran, we may be a lot lower munitions. We'll be a lot more distracted there, and there's a lot at risk for China not to move. But Japan may be the game changer. So that may change things a lot, knowing that there would be full tilt behind us, but it may also drag us into it faster than we may want. It would be nice if we could carve the world in hemispheres and just say, okay, China, this is yours, just leave us alone. But they're really fighting to keep their ports over here so they can cut off us right here at home. And they're using dual use facilities, their civilian facilities that they're opening up on their Belts and Roads Initiative are dual use for military purposes. We've seen that they're using commercial ferries to be able to have roll-on, roll-off capability to invade Taiwan. And we've seen already pictures of their cargo ships where they've had several missile tubes on the top of a single cargo ship. I'm not talking onesie, twosie, threes. I'm talking like a dozen that they had erected right out of ISO shipping containers. They could do this right off our coast. So this whole thing with China, and China's also got people in Cuba. And maybe that's why Donald Trump is putting the quash on Cuba. Cuba is in blackout mode right now. They don't have power. They've had to cut flights to their airports because they can't supply fuel to the aircraft. So their airports are shut down. So Cuba is right now being strangled for energy. Will that cause a regime change in Cuba? Good question. Will it cause Cuba to fight back? They might try to put up a fight. I don't think they could win it. You might not know it, but we actually fought Cuban forces when we went into Grenada. And I stayed in my old unit. I would have went there. I would have been part of that. My unit went to Grenada right after I left and went to Alaska. Now, here's the other thing. We, who was guarding Maduro? All of his guards were Cuban, every one of them. Like he didn't trust his own people. There might be a reason for that, but that also showed how tight the Maduro regime was with Cuba. And now we see that now Maduro's out. Cuba's paying the dear price for that. So it would be good to see the Chinese out of Cuba. It'd be good to see the Russians out of Cuba. How do we let them get in there? Remember, we had a blockade and missile crisis in October of 1962 when I was a little toddler? Yeah. Then we just kind of let it all slip back in. Do they have, well, of course, they had nuclear missiles then. What do they have there today? Maybe Chinese cargo ships and stuff and missile cubes? We don't know. Oh, it's just an intel base. Wink, 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 wink. Maybe, but having intel base that close to America is not good either. Because they did have some very large radar capabilities, which can also be used to direct weapon systems like missile flights. So this thing with Cuba is not, something to take trivially. Boy, I'm getting tongue tangled here. Sometimes, yeah, I just recorded a video. I'm going to upload, I'm going to upload it and probably post it tomorrow, where I'm talking about some of the threats of some of our consumer products here that we use in the United States. And there's a lot of, chemical names that I got my tongue tangled over quite well. I say, if it's on the label and you can't pronounce it, you shouldn't use it. That's my bottom line. But anyway, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. So, hey, Drops, good to see you in the house. So, my friends, we have a lot to consider. We have a lot to think about here, and a lot of reason to get your rear ends prepped, to get your life in order. I live off grid, 100% off grid. And that makes a difference. I'm working to put in, I had a garden last year, but I more than doubled it. Probably more than quadrupled it. I'm working on that right now. I'm even got a part of that is a garden for my chickens. I want to get where I can be as self-reliant as is possible. No man's an island, but the more self-reliance you get, the more secure you can be when you can't go buy things. And I got worms too. That is one of my insurance cards to keep me from having to buy things once I get things set up. So they're threatening their space stuff. Oh yeah, I'm going to show you a little video that's going to premiere tomorrow. I got a video in China that will blow your mind. What they're claiming, they're claiming that they're building an airborne aircraft carrier, probably bigger than the USS Ford, that will fly to the edge of space. They claim it can even go orbital. Yeah, what do you see that video? That will be on Galactic Griggs. I posted a notification of it on my post section of this channel. So you want to look out for that one. That's rather shocking. And, I don't know if they can really pull that off. That is a tall pole to climb. That's quite if they do, it would be really frightening. That's an extreme frightening proposition. Anyway, I got a video coming out on that. So, and not to mention they got other space assets. They built a very powerful microwave weapon for taking out satellites, including and targeting Elon Musk satellites. Elon, you should really think about that relationship you had with China way back when. They're not so friendly to you, Elon. And not to mention they stole your EV car technology, your battery technology, but then they build them cheaper, so their cars are far more prone to catch fire. And you can't get out of them. The doors are locked. So, there's some problems with those BYD cars that Canada's going to be important, and a lot of the Europeans are turning to. Not to mention, going to put y'all's businesses out of business. So, and another thing here is that we're having big problems building ships. We are spending twice as much money to build ships today, and we're getting about half what we used to get for the money. About half. In fact, our Navy is actually going to decrease for a little bit before it gets a chance to come back. And part of the problem is we've just not had shipbuilding in this country for so long in general. We've let all our manufacturing go. And when you look at things from a military standpoint, it's really bad to outsource all your supply lines, all your supply chain to the country that's most likely to be your enemy. Duh. So we got to reshore a lot of our manufacturing capabilities. It's not easily done. It's very difficult, but it's necessary for our economy and for our defense, especially. There's an adjustment period. You don't make a big change like that without a little pain. You don't get gain without pain, and that pain comes through tariffs. But those tariffs really haven't really showed up in a major way to our in sticker shock on the store shelves. I go in the Wally World, and I see those darn TVs from over there all still like the same price. A lot of the junk is. But that said, there is, hey, gas prices are way down. Inflation is tampered down some. So there's some good things for our economy right now. Hopefully we'll have a lot of jobs. Everybody's talking about how AI is going to put everybody out of work, and we can't find enough workers to build ships. Duh. What we need is people to roll up their sleeves and go in and be willing to engage in blue-collar work. And we need some engineers involved in the design of these things because they're hurting in that department too. As we go into this big Golden Dome, as we greatly expand our defense budget, we're going to need a lot of engineers in this country. So we need engineers, and we need people to roll up their sleeves and do real work. We don't need a bunch of admin people graduated out of college. That's what AI is going to replace. AI is going to take those jobs. So if you're studying that, or you got kids or grandkids about to go into college and study that stuff, you can take them aside and talk to them, because that's not where the skill base is needed right now. We do have needs and they're hard to meet. So there's this whole idea that everybody's going to be put out of work in 3 to 5 years. That's hilarious. Yeah, a lot of people will be, but it will be those who are doing administrative work. All right. That's it. Some of the lower level management and things like that. Heirloom seeds for winged beads. There you go. Yeah, guys, I've been promoting heirloom seeds for a long time. I don't even think I'm putting the link on my channel anymore. True Leaf Market. Nobody was buying them, so I took the link off. In fact, I don't even know if my we got another super chat. Hey, Bill, how are you doing? Bill 446. Always loved your stuff. Well, thank you. Appreciate that, Bill. I may be finding the right people to work with me out here. If I do, I might crank up the full-fledged worm farm again. It's a possibility. I'm not saying I'm going to go there, but I'm seeing some prospects. It's got me a little encouraged in that department. So we're going to look at some of the articles just to back up these things I'm telling you. But right now, we got a big decision of what we're going to do with Iran. I don't think Donald Trump knows what he's going to do yet, because he's putting the force out there. He may be just wanting to save face to get a deal. Trump is always looking for a deal because he ripped the heart of the deal. He sees himself as the deal maker. So we'll have to see what happens in that regard. We got Cuba girl in the house. That's good. So hopefully, if this communist regime in Cuba falls, hey, we could all go down there and have a nice vacation. And a lot of Cubans who live in exile here in the United States might want to go back. There'll be a lot of opportunities there. Possibility. So something to think about. I'm going to do a share screen. Give me a second here. Something to think about. Ding, ding, ding. Share screen. Oh, I didn't want to share the whole screen. Stop that share. That's not what I wanted to do. Start again. Pardon me, guys. We'll get there in a minute. There we are. Desert Storm levels of U.S. military headed to Middle East. There's your C-17s I was talking about. 112 of them. Loaded for bear. All kinds of equipment. And Trump and Netanyahu are negotiating the fate of Iran right now. In part, I think, or, some sources say that Trump is just kicking the can down the road and biding time within these negotiations because he's planning to strike anyway. Some think that he isn't planning to strike; he's just trying to get a deal. So there's, the armchair experts are saying everything under the sun. We don't know just yet, but we know there's a potential for a war or maybe another deal. We don't know. We'll have to see. Time will tell, and we'll probably know before too many months are out because you can't afford to keep all that military lined up too long. Cubans make the best cigars. Hey, New Days is one woman that had smoked a cigar with me. I'll tell you that. Thank you, New Days. Yeah, she can smoke a cigar, I guarantee. And she likes the big ones, the good big cigars. And she can smoke them. Anyway, Nikki Haley, she's one of the, she's from South Carolina, just like Miss Lindsey Graham. And she is a war hawk just like him. And I don't trust her because she's something of a, I think she's of the globalist ilk. I don't want to see her run for president. She scares me, but she's definitely hawking for Trump to attack. And, she says, don't negotiate, don't commit the same mistakes that Obama committed in his administration. Hmm. So what's the right thing? How do you get water, Greg? I have it hauled in. I also set up a rainwater collection system, and I'm going to expand that too. And if I never get enough money, I'll put in a well. Wells are very expensive out here. I'm spending all my money. I spent between digging trenches and buying wood chips. I about broke my bank already. Anyway, so this is a post in X. Some Iranian regime elements are signaling that Iran may offer relatively insignificant nuclear-only concessions. Well, that's not what Netanyahu wants. That's not what uh, uh, a lot of people are chiming for. We'll have to see. Uh, is that going to be a deal that would save face for Trump? Will they back off over that? I don't know. Netanyahu's not wanting it. So we'll see who controls Trump. Is that Netanyahu or Trump? Anyway, so the Iranian army is saying, "Hey, it'd be a huge mistake if we strike." They've been saying this kind of stuff before. Uh, he says, "Let's see, this is yeah. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi. He says, we, as the army of the Islamic Republic of Iran, are in full readiness, and we know that this enemy understands nothing except the language of power, which is what I've said about dictators for years. They learned this in the 33-day war, and today we are at a higher level of defense readiness. Oh, wait a minute. This is timing, not Aragachi. I hate that when they start mixing up their statements in here. So, yeah, they're alternating them here. This is Major General Amir Hatami, pardon me, who said that. So he said, and if they make a mistake, they will certainly receive a response such as they have neither seen nor expected up to now. Like a huge response. Does this mean a lot of missiles launched? Does this mean activating sleeper cells in America? There's been some hints to that they would conduct attacks in this country. It's been suggested cyber, but it might be boots on the ground sleeper cell agents too. So we don't know what that means, and hopefully we won't find out. But guys, I was talking about this other video I did where I couldn't, I can't pronounce all these chemicals. And I said, guys, if you can't pronounce what's on the label, you don't want it. And another thing that I'm not a fan of is us supporting companies that support the WWIII. You sell these products here, you sell these dozens and dozens of products. Well, they're controlled by 12 corporations. And if you go to the World Economic Forum site, you'll find every one of them in there. So, my friends, this is something to think about. You got this illusion of choice, and well, it's not real. And so the money you're paying to them is going for paying out lawsuits because they find it's cheaper. These big companies here on the inside of this ring, the control companies, it's cheaper to pay off lawsuits and to settle out of court than it is to actually produce good, clean products like the Europeans demand. So if you go to switchwithgreg.com and fill this out, you'll get your opportunity to see an ability to switch away from the big box stores, from all these nasty brands, in support of companies that support the WEF. This is a family-owned company. Products are made here in America, and they're chemical-free. They don't have all that nasty stuff in them. So just check it out. You fill this out, and my friend Lisa will call you and explain it all to you. So just check it out. It's worth a check out. Anyway, switchwithgreg.com. So, Japan's Iron Lady. Here she is, guys. Sanae, here she is right there. Takiachi, Sanae Takiachi. Yeah, she's got a big super majority now, unlike it's ever been in Japan before. Good enough to change her constitution, by the way. So Japan may change the pacifist nature in their constitution. But she got elected hands down, and her popularity swept their parliament, which I forget the name of the Japanese part. Oh, we got locked up here. Now to hit the stop share and go back. Hello. So I hate it when it does that. So let's go back and share again. I don't know what makes it do that. And I didn't used to have this problem. All right. Now to let me see what I'm doing. We'll switch to some other articles. Where's the X button on this ad? There it is. It's moving around. They don't want you to find them. So the USS Supercarrier, USS Gerald Ford, is having a lot of issues. It's having a lot of maintenance problems. It's having a lot of breakdowns. They're having a lot of issues with it. Just the quality in which it was built, design is got a lot of problems. And they're saying in this article, it's a good thing that it's in the Caribbean and not up against a near peer rival such as China. They don't know how well it would do in a situation like that. They need to shake out some bugs. We're building another one of these. Hopefully we'll get the bugs shook out and figured out before it hits the waters too, and replaces. We grounded the Nimitz. They said it'll never be on a mission again. The Nimitz might have been a better ship than this one. So, and again, it gets back to this issue we got with building ships here in America, which I just talked about. And here it is, the Navy can't build ships anymore. And this article is about why. And it goes into a lot of different factors, but mainly a lot of it is we just lost our manufacturing capability. There are some cases where all these defense companies are truly trying to soak the budget. They're trying to make profits and buy back their own stocks with those profits. Now, Donald Trump spanked them on it, so then I'm not allowing that. So maybe that'll help somewhat. But we need a manufacturing base in this country again. We've got to be able to build things again. People forgot how to do these things because they've been let go. And we got to hire new people and get them trained up. So we just don't have the base for designing and manufacturing ships that we once had. At one time, we had a 600 ship Navy. Remember that back during the Cold War? Now we're struggling to get 300. Imagine that. And then again, right here at home, what do we got? We got Chinese academics at top U.S. schools and labs are part of the CCP's infamous, 1,000 Talents program. Remember what I told you? It's the law in China. It's the law that if you're a Chinese citizen and you're abroad and the CCP asks you to provide intel on anything to answer questions, you have to do it. And if you don't, you refuse, then your family back home is going to suffer, and you will too when you eventually get back home. So, my friends, it's not a pretty thing. We need to really govern and cut back what we allow in this country. Oh, yeah. I was mentioning I had a video on this aircraft, this insane airborne aircraft carrier coming up on Galactic Grades. There it is. That will premiere at 4 p.m. tomorrow, my time, which is 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern, and 3 p.m. Pacific time. So you'll want to watch this video. It's pretty outlandish. And like I said, I don't know if they can pull that off because it is a real, what they're claiming they're going to do here is mind boggling. Let's see if they can actually follow through. And if you hadn't seen, I got a couple other videos like preventing AI genocide with my old buddy Alex Lightman. He's one smart guy. And I did a video which tells you my role, which is a lot more substantial than most of you would have dreamed, in this deal that came up with both the SLS and commercial space. I was quite involved in this stuff. You guys want to see that? Watch this. It's the untold inside story on how we got the architecture between SLS and today Starship and others like Blue Origin's landers factor into that too. So you might want to watch that. You may want to see why Elon Musk decided to go to the moon instead of Mars. I'll tell you, there's more to that story than what he was telling us. Who's that guy shaking his hands around so much? Holy smoke, who is that guy? Anyway, yikes. Is that what I look like? Holy guac and smoke a moly. Russia's economy is entered a severe crisis, and according to the new voice of Ukraine, which is, you know, one-sided, really, particularly, and I wouldn't take what they tell us with a big lump of salt, maybe a salt block like you'd put out in the cow pasture instead of a grain. But they're claiming that they're on the verge of a Soviet era collapse. I think that's a big statement, but they are definitely economically constrained, in part because um, Donald John Trump, who's Putin's puppet, according to so many people, has put sanctions and tariffs and threatened tariffs against countries who are buying oil from Russia, which cut down their market considerably. So Russia's basically only selling to China today. So yeah, and supposedly, I would say Donald John Trump is Putin's puppet, is really doing a sorry job as a puppet. I really have a hard time seeing him as a puppet given the measures he's taken. Anyway, also, Putin offered to uh, do a new START treaty with Donald Trump, and Donald turned it down. But why? Because we can't just base all our arms on Russia alone when we got China building the same thing, and China and Russia and North Korea are all tied together. So you can't just look at one and build your forces according to what one country's doing when you got another adversary who's building to beat the band. They all got to be included. And China said, oh no, we're not going to be part of that. We got to build our stuff. Interesting. We're in interesting times any way you shake it, whatever you think about it. But Trump's given up control of 3 NATO bases. And hopefully that means we're bringing some guys home from here. But one of these NATO bases is right here in the United States that he's letting NATO commanders. I can't get the article open. Anyway, so much for that. So, oh Lord. Gyra Sports not happy because I didn't make a payment to them. Now I'm sending their ads. So now for a little entertainment. Quote of the day by Socrates. By all means, marry. If you get a good wife, you'll become happy. If you get a bad one, you'll become a philosopher. I think it said that Socrates was a bad husband, or maybe he had a bad wife, according to whatever viewpoint you take. But I just thought that was funny, and I thought I would share it with you guys because we cover so much stuff that's kind of rough on this channel. Sometimes it's good to throw a little humor in to help us keep our humanity about us. But there's a lot of concerns with Yellowstone yet because now we found it can blow faster than we thought. I'm not going to go through this article. It's just a fact article. Well, earthquakes. Well, we got a fresh one up here. How do you pronounce it? That. Uh, how do you say OKH? Yeah, something in Russian. OKH OTSK. I don't know how you say that. The Kamchatka Peninsula is still really active with earthquakes, as we can see. 5.1. They had a they had a submarine base up there. Basically, got what? Look at Alaska; it's really cooking. Then over here in Fiji area, 6.2 there. They got a lot of earthquake activity in that area. This looks like Adak, Alaska. Boy, there's a lot of earthquakes on the Adak. I don't know why there ain't no Puerto Ricans up there dancing. Puerto Rico's always got earthquakes down here. And let's go look at Alaska here. Well, they're really cooking up there. We got one close to San Andreas Fault, and this one is in Valmy, Nevada. We've seen earthquakes there before. Whoa, what the heck's opening up here? We got a couple in West Texas, which is common, but look at this one. This is near Falls City, Texas. Then we got one in Jamaica. Look at this, 5.0. All right, let's try and scroll this over here and see if we can get a better beat on what's cooking in Alaska. They're not big earthquakes. This one is Esther. See, Fairbanks be over here. I used to be right over here when I lived in Alaska. 4.6 in Meadow Lakes. And looks like there's some aftershocks around that. This is Happy Valley. 3.1 in Happy Valley. What's a place to live? Happy Valley. And Chinega, 2.6. There's a, I don't know how you say it. Nanwalik. I don't know. I live in Alaska too. I can't even pronounce everything in Alabama, guys. Come on, give me a break. There are towns in Alabama I don't even know the name. Hey, Space Girl, how you doing? So we're about to get over to the chat room here in a second. Space weather. I want you to look at this. This is an Oort cloud comment, which means it's almost a hyperbolic trajectory going by the String of Pearls galaxy. Look at that. So that means this thing's well magnified. The sun don't look too bad today. That big ugly 4366 sunspots on the limb of the sun here. I got a couple of big ones that are isolated. Hope they don't blow up like that one did. And let's hope this one peters down when it goes on the other side instead of growing. We don't know how it's going to go yet. Aurora activity looks pretty decent, but not super duper strong. But it is covering a fair area right now. An asteroid report is nothing coming between the Earth and the Moon soon until the 10th of April that we know of. Oh yeah, we'll probably get several smaller ones pass by and we'll go, oh, there went one. But anyway, for the coffee club drinkers in the morning, that's the news. And I'll hit the chat room. We'll do the egg guess, and we'll call it a night so I can get to bed. We got 107 watching. Not too bad. Not too bad for this late time. But only 11 thumbs ups. Let me hit the renew button on that, see if that's right. Only 11 thumbs ups. I'm about to go look at this on my main computer here, or main laptop. This is my old backup. Okay, we got 46 thumbs up. Hey, from all the people in the room, I still think we ought to have more than that. Guys, I need some help with the outdoors. I have no rhythm. I'm knocking stuff over down here. Oh, yeah, I might as well show you what I'm knocking over. I got some signage down here. I keep down here to show you guys. I just hadn't done it too often. Things to keep you aware of, like prepping tips. Here's some prepping tips. Before leaving home, check your keys, your wallet, your cell phone, your knife, your other knife, your third knife, your nug, your backup nug, and 3 spare mags. Well, I think maybe it should say a third knug, just like a third knife. And that's about the way I pack, guys. You find me, I will have 2 to 3 of these on me at any given time. So I could pack heavy. And since I mentioned I'm growing worms again and might get into them more expanded worm business, caution, wormholes. And for those of you that want to be a snowflake here, I'm in Snowflake, that's a different thing. being in snowflake and being a snowflake is two highly divergent things. But guys, snowflakes don't last long on my channel. So I got to give you a caution. You will probably melt when you hear what I talk about. And maybe that would be a good thing. And for you flat earthers, danger, danger. Yeah, we might be on the edge. So I'd have a little fun sometimes. I hadn't shown y'all those since I was in Alabama. I mean, years ago. So it was thought it'd be fun to pull those signs back out again. Some of you have never seen them, right? All right. Oh, we got Colonel Cole in the house. All right, let's see what we got here. And then Norway. Let's see who's in the house. Am I still sharing? I don't think so. Nope. Good. All right, let's see who's in the house. Ding, 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 ding. Scroll up. Nanny Anderson, Mr. Dunham. Cuba American. All right, very good. How are you doing? Arnold Schmidt. New Days. Chris Napier. Good to see you. DX Bandit. He's just following orders from Israel. Man. Yeah, it might be. I don't know. Let's hope not. Yeah, guys, when I used to run the hall, I ran the halls of Congress for the National Space Societies, and I was chairman of the policy committee. And you would be shocked to realize it seemed like half the people running those halls had those little skull caps on back there. The number of them was rather shocking. Why so many? Proportionally, it was way out of proportion considering the size of Israel and the community in the United States, but they played Congress hard. You better believe that. They play our government real hard. All right, Carol, how you doing? George Cuh, Vegas in the house. All right. Drops. China's weapons are junk. Well, a lot of them are. Right now, ours are having some issues too. But our technology has been generally superior, but they're catching up. In some areas, they may be passing us. But the thing is, they can build them at quantity and for a lot cheaper than us. So, when we lose F-35 is one thing. When they lose a J-35, they got three more coming behind it. So, la-di-da-di-da-di. They might be making fent in those labs. Could be, but they're finding bio labs, bio vials full of strange stuff. I wonder if they'll tell us what they actually found. Will the FBI ever come out and say what was in those vials? And if they say it, will it be true? I don't know. Frightening, Wells. How do we pronounce that? Tourist. I'm not sure you pronounce your name there. Why are you frightened? Broken Fish, good to see you. If I knew what our politicians are investing with trading, I might be able to make some too. Yeah, right. Exactly. Boy, they get some deals, don't they? How else does Nancy Pelosi get so rich? And she's not the only one by a long shot. China has made people in Canada too. Oh, has people in Canada? Yeah. You can bet. And in Mexico with the cartels, well, yeah, the cartels are probably just basically working for the CCP. Hey, Wormy. I'm converting to Amish. That's not a bad move, Wormy. Yeah, those guys will do airspace, no flight zone over El Paso region. How you doing, Earl? Well, Green Greg's, do you know what tamarillos and wing beans? I got some tamarillos. Wing beans, yeah. I need to get me some seeds for tamarillo trees. Wing beans, I've seen some. I'm planning to try to put in a few crops, or let's shall we say very low maintenance that you really shouldn't have to replant. I believe both of those are in that category. Your husband's from Edmonton. Okay. Witness for Justice. Hey, how you doing, Witness for Justice? Are you uh shoot. Are you I think you are I'm getting brain lock all at once. I think I know who you are. Uh, in fact, I think you used to live close to here. Witness for Justice. Oh shoot. Help me out. I think I know who you are. I think you used to live close to here. Am I right? You used to live close to here? You got a big YouTube channel or had one? But I think you're a preacher. And I think I know some people you know. The one plant guy. Hi, Greg. Why can't I think of the name right now that I'm thinking of? Getting brain locked. Shoot. It'll come to me as soon as I end the video if you don't fess up. Oh, I know the name too. If you're who I think you are. I came to the USA in 76, but still have lots of cousins there in Cuba. It's bad right now, I heard. Yeah, it's pretty sad. Maybe you can all unite here one day soon. Let's hope nobody starves and can all actually unite. Top of the morning. Hey, Wizard. The Wiser. Got to go to Edmonton. 5 heirloom seed companies. This repeats itself. Cubans make the best cigars. India, Iran, and Persians, huge deal. Well, yeah, the Iranians are the oh shoot, Aryan people, not Germans. It's Iranians. It's Persian people. Persians are the Aryan people, not Germans. Maria, I smoked cigars since I was 6 years old, thanks to my granddad on fishing trips. She can handle a cigar, guys. I'm gonna tell you, that ain't no lie. Unless you support BVD. Yeah, I don't. Oh, I don't think you got to worry about that for Arnold. Kathy Pittman, I haven't seen you in a while. Hey, folks, everything's great week. There we go. I'm going to go sleep listening. That's a good idea. Well, thank you for putting the Switch with Greg link in New Days. All right, mods, take some lessons from New Days. She puts a lot of links in to help the channel hit the grids. And they did a test run in 2021, but they blamed the wrong people. Yeah, I don't doubt that. We don't know. He hit the Metcalf substation near San Jose, California. We still don't know. April 16th, 2013. We still don't know who did it. I'm read through all these messages. Shops, it's legal to grow, but not to sell unless you have a license. Oh, what is that? Yeah, there's some plants that are, just because they don't require seeds, they don't want you to have them. Some herbs, just they got there's some weird rules. Elon probably knows that. Oh, DX Bennett, how you doing? They used to grow Tabascus. Oh, Tabasco. Oh, so that's actually a plant. Now, I might learn something there, guys. I just thought they used peppers. Chilies, as we call them. Yes, drop seeds and plants can be salt. My understanding is if you cut it and dry it and sell the processed tobacco, there's a big number. Oh, really? Hmm. Oh, we're saying tobacco, not Tabasco. Sometimes I don't read stuff right. There used to be a lot of people grow tobacco. It used to be pretty common, especially up in Tennessee, just north of where I lived. You'd see these barns that were built just to dry tobacco. When I was in the Army at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, a lot of fields were just tobacco. Oh, I think I missed something here. Hey, Rodney, how you doing? How you doing, Rodney? Lord, and no earth ain't flat. Yeah, I know you guys know it. Wouldn't believe how many flat earthers I come into. Hey, Rodney's the master knife maker like nobody. He makes some beautiful blades. Baby girl, how you doing? Cindy Lou, you've gotten some really cool gifts from your followers over the many years. That's true. That this light came from the Blue Bottle Bunny Farm, and that's a couple. Unfortunately, Randy is in hospice. He recovered. We prayed for him quite a bit, and he recovered, but he's had a relapse, and he's not looking good for him. Insider trading, yeah. Airport closures, yes. And I just mentioned that earlier in Cuba. Why in the world does it keep jumping on me? Keeps jumping the bottom. I keep missing some of the chat I'm trying to get through. Yeah, Arnold, I don't know if Randy's going to, it's already ND. I don't know if he's going to join us again. He is not in good shape now. He looked like he had fully recovered. They'd only gave him like 6 months to live several years ago. And he really beat that. We prayed for him quite a bit. But he is in bad shape right now, my friends. I hate to tell you, I just found out about it recently from Susan, his wife. Yeah, Susan. She actually is the one that made this bottle. Susan did. And of course, our good buddy Brian, he sent me some goodies. I've been munching on some of them today. Some of the little sausages and cheese on some of the rich crackers he sent me. So soaked seeds can be soaked, drained, mushed, shaped, and cooked as patties. Oh, what kind of seeds is that? Hey, Joseph or Jose? I don't know which one, how you pronounce that. Joseph? Let's see. The scripture hath concluded all understand the promise by faith of Jesus Christ might be given them that believe in Galatians. Dried seeds. What kind of dried seeds? I heard about El Paso airspace closed. Oh, you should ask our buddy Doug from Uncommon News 777. Shout out to his channel. Raleigh Herrera. Nice to see you, Greg. Good to see you. Rick Thompson. How you doing? All right, we made it to the bottom of the chat room. So that's progress. And I hit the bottom of the chat room, but too much trouble. Sunny's for one, like sunflower seeds. Okay. Could be an interesting discussion with a flat earther talking about the flat tire. It's only flat on the bottom. Sound like the square tire phenomenon we had in Alaska. If it got 40 below or colder, your tires would be flat. The cars, they would be frozen. Your tire would be frozen. When it was sitting on the ground, it would have a flat spot. And as you would drive, it would sound like you were riding a horse. Clomp, 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 clomp. And it felt like you was riding in a wagon. Your tire would go clomp, 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 clomp down the road until it got warmed up enough from the friction with the road and all the action they actually reinflate and pop out. So that was called the phenomenon of the square tire. We got anybody from Alaska in the house? Keep waving Wisconsin and I'll take it. There you go. Ending dinner. Yeah, I always do this during your dinner time, don't I, Rodney? I'm glad you're here. We have a cult of flat earthers here in Maine. I run into them all the time. Roasted pine nuts. Oh, that sounds good. You know, they got there's a pine that grows around here, pinyon pine. They have some really big nuts. Actually, Doug sent me some seeds. I plan to put them out. See if I can grow them here. They do grow just south of me around Sholo area. Uh, anyway, we're going to do noticed airman. Yeah. All righty. We're going to do our egg guess. When I say go, start guessing. Go. How many eggs did I get today? How many eggs did I harvest today? Time to guess. Hey, Broken Fish, Southern Oregon. How many eggs did I get today? 3. First guess got it today. The Indy Autofest. The Indy Autofest, the first guess got the right number. I'm going to show you the eggs I got today. All right. Let's see if y'all can see these. Yeah, I like Snowflake. I like this area. Now, these two here, I don't know if you can see the color on them, but they're actually kind of bluish. Those are Easter egger eggs, and this orange light don't show them up the way they really look. They're kind of a bluish egg. This is a Dominecker egg. So for once, my Easter eggers outlaid my Domineckers. I got twice as many, more than twice as many Domineckers as Easter eggers. So I had 6 eggs yesterday. So I think they got some little game going. Like one day they lay a bunch, and then one day they slack off, and then they lay a bunch, and then they slack off. Seems to be what they're doing. I think today was a slack day. But yeah, I got 6 yesterday. A few days ago, I actually got 10. So most I ever got from them. Considering it's still winter here, that's pretty impressive. So doing really well on the eggs. Yeah, there's some good eggs, some good size. They're good to eat. I have 12 hens and a rooster. That's what I got. 12 hens and a rooster. So I got 13 chickens overall. So that's what I got right now. 12 hens and a rooster. Double yolkers? No, those aren't double yolkers. Not yet. I haven't found one yet. Don't mean I won't. But those are single oak eggs, Easter eggs. Yeah, they lay bluish greenish eggs, and they're real pretty. So the Domineckers seem to dominate egg laying, except today. And considering there's a lot more Domineckers, as the Easter eggers outpulled the Domineckers today, and they weren't doing too well earlier in the season. I didn't get a whole lot of eggs. I got a leghorn hen. Should be laying a white egg. I don't get many white eggs. We got to get her. She's got to wake up and do her job. I think I got 1 white egg from her, maybe 2 since I've had her. She'll probably lay a bunch of come summer because those are supposed to be some prodigious egg layers, the leghorns. Oh, they're real happy to see me, Cindy Lou, because I always take them out some greens to eat, and they line up on the edge of the pen waiting on me to come. When I slam my door and walk out of the house, they'll come running out of the hen house. And they're all lined up on the edge of the pen just waiting on me. So that's kind of cute. And boy, when I throw those greens on the ground, they really go at it. So yeah, they're happy to see me. And I got the cat in the house tonight. He was meowing pretty bad early, but he's kind of quieting down. So he's hiding somewhere because I got on him for meowing so much. Anyway, thank you, Rodney, for calling for the thumbs up. Appreciate that. Yeah, he went in the house pretty bad tonight. He was actually jumping on the door and hitting the doorknob. Like maybe he thought he could open the door. The day the cat opens the door, I don't know what I'm going to do. That would be rather shocking. I don't believe that's ever going to happen, but he tried. We used to have a horse that could do it. Yes, sir. How long have I been on here? I think we probably need to go. I can tell a horse story, but I think it's time to go. It's like we've been on here for 64 minutes. All righty, folks. Hey, I want to. Is it cold there? Sometimes it is. We're having a little bit of a warm spell right now. Let's see. Pull up the forecast. Oh yeah, I want to check my email too to see if there's anybody in the house that might have sent me a donation that way. No, I don't see it. WordPress form submitted by Peter. Chris, what? Oh, hot dog. We got two people that have went to switch with Greg. Thank you. That's good to see. And Christopher, Peter, you will be hearing from Lisa, and she will walk you through what it is and how it works. So it's she will tell you all about it. So that'll be very good. She's a real nice, sweet lady. So you'll enjoy that. All right. Oh yeah, I was going to pull up the forecast. When I pick up a phone, I get so distracted. I'm especially don't ever click on Facebook. Oh my gosh, you'll be down the rabbit hole. Now, where is the weather bug? There it is. Weather bug. And I hit 10-day forecast. So it looks like we're going to be 61 tomorrow, 63 Thursday, high. It's actually going to be above freezing the next 2 mornings. It was above freezing last morning. But it's going to dip back below freezing Friday, and we got a 50% chance of rain Friday. We get rain, it's usually not a lot. Then 28 in the morning on Saturday, 35 in the morning on Sunday. Yeah, we'd been weeks on end of never getting above freezing. Now we're seeing a few days that's doing that. Monday, rain, 26, but now Tuesday and Wednesday, each day they're showing respectively a 40 and 30% chance of snow. So I may get some snow Tuesday and Wednesday. Oh, Thursday, we're going to have a high 43 and a low of 19 degrees Thursday. So that might be a little chilly. I might possibly run one eye on my buddy heater all night. I don't too often do that. I think I've only done it 2 or 3 times. Usually when it's getting colder than that. That's kind of probably not cold enough to do that. But it's cold enough I might think about it. So I don't know if y'all can see this. If I can hold that, I don't know if y'all will be able to see the forecast. It'll focus. I don't know. I don't think it's focusing. No, it's not focused. Sorry about that. That's the kind of forecast I'm looking at. Yes, it's cold here. It varies. It's usually cooler here than where I came from. The first time I ever came out here was Thanksgiving weekend in 2019, and it snowed, like maybe 6 inches, which is that's kind of uncommon because this is a desert. You don't get that much moisture. A lot of times it's cold enough, you just don't get the moisture. And then this year, no, in 2025, excuse me, less than a year ago, in 2025, on the 19th of April, I had 7.5 inches of snow here on the 19th of April. In Alabama, you'd have everything planted by the 15th of April, because you shouldn't have no more frost. Well, here that date is about mid-May. So we do have a shorter growing season in Alabama, because it can snow. I've seen snow here in October. So not 6 inches, but I've seen it snow here in October. So you can have, I didn't do it. It didn't happen this last year, but the year before it did. So you never know. Oh, I think I did see a few flakes fall, and not, snow on the ground. More states. Our fires down south. Look on the watch. Uh-oh. There are times I've seen fires driving around. You could see the smoke plumes down in the mountains south or east of here where they got big forests. And occasionally the smoke has gotten around here. We've had smoke here a day or two. We get horrendous winds here a lot, especially in springtime and summer. The winds blow like crazy. So this is a windy spot. It's okay in Arkansas. Yeah, drops how you like it in Arkansas. Uh, it's got to be better than where you were, at least from a political standpoint. Probably grow more too. I watch Sky News. That's the good news. I do like Sky News. By some. All right, so we is going to go. We'll call it a tonight. I got to get up in the morning. I got a meeting early in the morning. I got three or four meetings tomorrow. I'm going to be a busy, busy puppy tomorrow with all the meetings. So I want to thank Chris Napier for the super chat. I want to thank Bill4446 for the super chat. I want to thank all you mods for keeping the channel clean. I want to thank New Days, especially because she's been posting links for me. I should have all mods go through a New Days training program. So she definitely stays on top of that. So I want to thank everybody for being here. Thank you all for coming and watching, for being part of this channel, for being part of the show. Please share my videos. And I look out, I've got that one coming up tomorrow at 4 on Galactic Dregs, talking about that crazy airborne aircraft carrier that China's talking about. There's a lot of details that are missing. Like, what's the propulsion system? It's got to be something insane. It almost has to be nuclear. So yeah, I'll see you next year. There is, and I want to put a video probably up tomorrow on product, toxins and some of these products, because I have just I've covered that. And before I've talked about it many times, I've done a video specifically on that. And I'll be bringing more of this. So, this is something I've talked about off and on for years. I'll be bringing you more of that stuff. And you need to grow your own food, guys. If you can all grow your own food, please. And maybe I'll bring back the seed offers too. So I just want to thank you all for being here. And with that, I want to say to one and all, good night, good day, wherever you are. Keep your eyes wide open, head on a swivel, and